Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Braden, and I am the president and CEO of MSBCoach. And I want to invite you to join me for a conversation, a real vulnerable conversation here, just for about 3 minutes. We're starting a series that we haven't even quite decided the name yet. And as you can see, I, like most of you, I'm working from home. But we're trying to decide if we're going to call this an in it together moment or resilient moment. But nonetheless, this is our first one, and we're just having each of our different coaches and team members to take just a moment to share what they are most concerned about, what their biggest fear is right now, and then how they're coping with that. So this has been hard for me to narrow down because there's actually been quite a few things that concerns that I have. And to be honest, I had a hard time nailing it down to just one. So I'm going to break the rule just a little bit and give you two things. My first biggest concern is that we just a couple of weeks ago, just literally as a company, hit a brick wall, as many organizations did, where just within 24 hours, we had 3 months worth of work canceled, which was, some of it years in the making for it to happen. Some of it has been rescheduled, some of it has not, some of it's to be determined. But nonetheless, from a cash flow standpoint and a business owner and a person who runs a business standpoint, everything shut down very quickly. So that was something that I could have easily gotten caught up in fear, and I have felt those moments of that. So that's the first one. And then the second one is that my parents live, fortunately, I still have both of my parents living, but they are in their mid-70s, and they live about 3.5 hours from us, and just concerns for them and that they live in another state and how they're doing. So those are two of my big top concerns. Like I said, I could go on and on with several others. But right now, for the sake of this call, those are the two that I will address. A couple of things that I have been doing to work through this is just really practicing what I know about deep breathing, making sure I'm getting outside in some fresh air, so keeping my physical distance, but making sure I'm getting some fresh air, getting plenty of water, so getting plenty of sleep. I know those things sound simple, but for me, they make such a tremendous difference. And then starting something that I'm just calling, the moments of joy, where being intentional to write down the things that I'm happy about, and the things that brought me joy for that day, rather than focusing on the things that aren't working. And really thinking of how can we give back. We as an organization, we're not doctors, we're not researchers, we can't find the cure for this coronavirus, but there are things we can do to give back, even if there's no money that we're making. It's a contribution, it's keeping our brains engaged, and it's helping us do good things in the world. So those are some of the things that I'm doing from the business perspective. From the personal perspective, the good things is I'm talking to my parents more. I've always been in great relationship with them, but talking with them even more, FaceTiming with them, being in even more relationship, communicating than we even have in the past. And it just really, this situation raises our appreciation and our love for our loved ones, because I think we take for granted that they'll just always be there. And so one of the bigger things that really in both of these that I'm embracing is recognizing the circles of influence that Stephen Covey talked about. And that is initially, that inner circle of what is in my control, what can I influence, and what is out of my control that I just need to accept. And it's out of my control that we're on lockdowns. It's out of my control that this virus spreads so easily. But I can bring it back in that there are things that I can influence. I've talked a little bit about those things. There are things that I can control within myself and my family, and I've talked about those things. So hopefully this moment of we're all in it together, or this resilient moment, whatever we decide to call it, has been helpful for you. We'd love to hear from you, to hear if this was helpful, and even some ideas for more of these, keeping them going. So, all right, take care. We're in it together, and we're going to make it through. Bye-bye.